everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher, and I'm not entirely convinced that was a clean open, but that's okay. We're rolling with it.
All right, well, coming up today on this episode of Thank God I'm Atheist, the word of wisdom,
Yeah,
man.
it's a what Mormons believe. We've talked about Mormons and their kinky little food habits before,
Yeah.
but we're going to keep talking about it because they've clarified a few things. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's a modern world.
Whew, I'm
There
so
are
glad they clarified.
lots of
I was
things
getting a
out
little
there.
confused about what I could eat, what I couldn't eat,
Yeah.
what I could drink,
Who knows?
what I couldn't drink.
You know what? If
mackerel.
you're Mormon, it's just safer not to eat or drink a damn thing. just let that part of your life go. Hey, Frank, before we launch in, I just want to mention one more time really quickly.
Yeah.
We are working toward being listener-supported
I cannot
entirely.
say how close we are.
We're getting there.
I mean, I could, but I cannot.
Well, you guys can go
I have
and
the
see
physical capacity to
Right.
say it, but I'm not going to.
it. Don't.
We're so close.
But as you were saying to me earlier today, people do drop out. So it's like
And that's a natural thing that happens.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's totally fine. We're not resentful of anybody
No.
who can't afford it
We're-
anymore or doesn't want to anymore.
we're thankful for the time that they were a patron.
Absolutely. However, what that means is that we're not just trying to build new people. We're actually trying to we have to cover the losses as well.
Right. And this has
So-
been something, this just is how it works.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
We've always gained like 3 in a week where one person is no longer a patron.
Yeah.
And so we'll have a net of 2. And it's just been a natural sort of gradual climb.
Yeah.
The whole time.
So
It's natural. It's
so
normal.
we're still working towards that goal. Once we hit 350
Yeah.
total patrons.
Right. But right now we're working toward 300 so that
Right.
half of our episodes can be ad-free.
Right.
Right. And we are, I'm going to say it, 4 people away.
You guys,
So, come on.
you can
help
do
us
it.
out here.
You can do it. And
You're
by
only
the
helping yourself.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right, exactly.
Because as soon as you're a patron, you get access to immediately an ad-free version of the show every single week.
Yeah, that's just our gift to you,
Yeah.
as recompense for your gift to us. It's a gift exchange.
Indeed.
Anyway, let's move on. What do you got?
Yeah. I have, Dan.
Oh, you know what we didn't do? I just should tell people the way you become a patron is you go to thankgodimatheist.com and there's a little link on the side of the page and it just says become a patron, and then you click that and then you do it.
Okay. Perfect.
Now
Thank
say what you got.
you. Dan, I would like to play a guessing game with you.
I knew you would. I just knew it.
Did you?
In my heart.
Did you? This is not the only story that we're gonna have a guessing game today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a couple of them. I would like you to guess, Dan, why a Catholic priest in Tennessee rejected his new housekeeper. On what grounds
Oh my God.
did he look at this woman
Oh my God.
and go, "I don't want you cleaning my house"?
Oh, it sounds like the setup to a joke, but it's not. I'm going to go with you are too attractive.
My dog is racist.
Oh, shit. What?
The woman is
Oh.
African American.
You got a Hank Hill dog?
His dog, he claims, has been aggressive with strangers until he gets to know them. And this is especially true for strangers that happen to be African American.
Oh, my God. It ain't me.
It's my dog.
It's my dog. Wow.
So 2 women showed up to his house. One had been the cleaner,
Okay.
and she was white.
Sure.
So no problem there
Right.
for him, right?
Yes. For the dog, Frank.
For the dog.
the dog.
Clearly for the dog.
Obviously.
When they approached the priest's house, they were told by the priest's secretary, "I'm sorry, we are not trying to be rude, but the dog just doesn't like black people."
But we don't allow black people in the house
new maids
because the dog doesn't. It's the dog. That's what I'm going with. Dog.
I mean, I wish there was more to this story than that.
No.
That's really it. That's it.
Stupid.
It's a punchline.
Well, you know what else? Ladies and gentlemen, Catholic priests make enough money that they have housekeepers and secretaries.
And boy toys.
And, well, those are free.
Oh, that's true. If you do it right.
If you do it right. Okay, that was fun. I'm going to make you play a guessing game now.
Oh.
And we'll just wash our
go back and forth
our
with
brains out
games?
with it. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
All right.
A new study has come out. Mm-hmm. A new survey, rather, has come out that surveyed every state in these United States about abortion.
Oh, boy.
Now, I want you to guess how many states in the United States of America have more than 25% of their populace wanting a total ban on abortion.
More than 25%.
Yeah, how many states in the union have more than 25% that want a total ban?
Why 25%? I don't understand the number.
That's just a benchmark. I don't know.
Benchmark?
I'm just
more than 25. How many out of 50 have more than 25?
More than 25% of people want a total ban on abortion.
I don't. I would say it's 20.
Yeah, I would have said something around that.
Yeah?
0. There are 0 states.
It was a trick question.
Whoa! The answer.
How dare you?
The answer is 0. Literally, most of these United States, in almost all the states, abortion is considered should be legal in all cases, or in some cases, in at least some cases. Almost all of them have a vast majority of people who believe that abortion should be considered legal in at least some cases.
Wow.
And then from there, when you get to how many people think that it should be not legal in any case, there's not a single state that has over 25% believing that.
No way.
I think that's pretty amazing.
Which state has 25?
No, none of them do.
Which has 24?
Let me find the thing. I don't know. I don't have that metric right at hand. Right. But here's what I will say. Let's see. So in Alabama, just 16% opposes abortion at all times, while 19% of Missourians hold that position. So I think it's 19 is the highest that it goes.
No way.
Yeah. Whereas in at least 5 states, at least 20% of the population believes that it should be legal in all cases. That's interesting. And those are 5 states that you wouldn't necessarily think was the case.
Okay, what are they?
Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Kentucky.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
It's just a crazy thing. Well, I guess the point is what's happening in our state legislatures is not remotely representative of their actual constituency.
Unbelievable.
It's this Project Blitz bullshit.
Yeah.
That this ultra right-wing nut job lunatic fringe has been working really hard to enact across the country, and they're doing a great job, and legislators are not reflecting their constituents at all. It's really interesting. Now, it breaks down differently when you start to look at specific religious groups.
Okay. Interesting.
So, like, you look at, for instance, is this the one I'm looking at? They break it. So this chart breaks it down between just 2 different positions: legal in most or / all cases, or illegal in most / all cases. So it's not. It incorporates the extremes into the more moderate positions. But white evangelical Protestant is actually against. They think it should be illegal in most or all cases at a rate of about 65 to 30. White mainline. That's white evangelical Protestant. Okay. White mainline Protestant. 59% think it should be legal in most cases.
Oh, wow.
Black Protestant, 56% say legal in most cases. Mm-hmm. Black Evangelical Protestant, 51%. So evangelical Protestant, black people in the United States, still over 50%.
Wow.
And non-evangelical Protestant, it's at 67% for black non-evangelical Protestant. Hispanic Protestant, evangelical Protestant they think it's only 32% think it should be legal. 63% say no.
Huh.
But for the most part, like the average, it's well over 50%.
Fascinating.
In the country.
Unreal.
So all of this, just know that it's a political agenda that has nothing to do with the populace of these here United States.
I'm so tired of this shit.
Right?
I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of these people trying to force us all into their little horrible world.
Their ugly,
horrible,
stupid
nasty
little
vision for what this world should, and especially this nation should be like.
Agreed. Entirely.
I'm sick and tired.
Yeah.
Dan.
It's stupid.
All right. I got a group for you, Dan.
Oh, a group.
A group for young men.
Oh no! Can I just say,
young men, to provide them with training, Dan. Provide them with some direction in their life.
That makes me so nervous.
If I say the name Team Rugged,
oh God,
and according to them, they offer patriotic and biblical training.
Oh God,
right? What do you think they focus on? What do you think their instruction really is all about?
Guns.
Knives, pistols, and rifles.
Yeah.
Amongst other things, like learning how to work in teams of 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
I wonder what that's all about. It has something to do with learning how to, use a knife in defense.
Sure.
Close quarters shooting with rifles and pistols.
Jesus.
And how to work effectively in teams of 2, 3, and 4. Also just general, probably hand-to-hand combat crap and
because
that's what you need, Dan.
The Sermon on the Mount was very clear. Blessed are the militia, for they shall inherit the earth.
Absolutely. Republican lawmaker Matt Shea. He's from Washington State. He's a state lawmaker.
Okay.
He's connected to this group, and this is kind of causing a lot of hubbub. I think this is the guy from a few months ago who we talked about wanting to split off part of Washington to form its own Christian state.
Right.
And we were like, yeah, but you'd still be in the United States.
Yeah.
So okay, states' rights and everything, but
there's a constitution and stuff.
You can't just go create Gilead somewhere.
Right.
Right. I think is kind of what we were saying.
Right.
Anyway, he's been sort of following the teachings of a Georgia-based neo-Confederate pastor.
Oh.
That's a thing.
That is a bad series of words right there. That bodes ill.
I believe it's this guy, Weaver.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time. Anyway, Georgia, he's this controversial preacher who the Southern Poverty Law Center has, they say that he's a leading proponent for training Christians for armed battle.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about.
That's what, they keep saying that's coming.
Yeah, in addition to being a preacher, this Weaver fellow, John Weaver, is a firearms instructor.
Of course, yeah.
He gives weapons trainings to members of the League of the South. That's the neo-Confederate group that marched in Charlottesville.
Oh, fun!
Right at the Unite the Right rally.
Definitely want them armed.
2017.
Definitely want them have as many guns as they can get.
Yeah.
Yikes.
The training will show them how to work better as a team, both in achieving physically demanding tasks and on the battlefield.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a figurative battlefield. This is not onward Christian soldiers.
Yeah, it's,
right?
we're
this
not talking
is literal.
Yeah, we're not
This
talking
is
about the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
These guys are... Well, you know, they did say... I made a Beatitudes joke earlier, but the Lord did say, blessed are the peacemakers.
Yeah.
And that's a Colt 45 right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boom. And by boom, I mean bang. And by bang, I mean boom.
Yeah. So, you know, in light of sort of recent happenings in this country, right? It's always good to know that it's...
that they're training terrorists?
that there's an organized effort to train terrorists, white terrorists.
I don't know how you see that as anything other than a terrorist training camp.
Yeah, that's absolutely what
Considering what is happening in these United States right now,
Christian terrorism.
if you see white guys training their young on guns, that's a terrorist training camp. That's what that is. That is what there should be drones flying overhead tracking them from our government.
Mm-hmm.
But instead they're probably being supplied with the weaponry. I don't know. Anywho, fun times in these United States. I'm going to take us to Pennsylvania. Now, I did a story a while back of a court case for Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. The county seal and the county flag have prominently displayed in their seal a Christian cross.
Oh.
And so the FFRF...
Well, there's good Christian people there.
Right. And only good Christian people there.
Well, but they're the ones that, you know, matter and control things.
Yes,
and are in
indeed.
power, so let them have their little cross.
Yeah. Anyway,
No, that's not right.
That was not the position of the FFRF. The Freedom from Religion Foundation, who, of course, sued,
No.
as they are wont to do.
Why?
And they triumphed in their circuit court, and of course, the county appealed to the Circuit Court of Appeals, the Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, who issued a ruling this Thursday that basically said that drew on the Supreme Court of these United States and their ruling in the Bladensburg Peace Cross, the recent really horrible ruling, that it was allowed to stay because it was old. So the appeals court overturned the other ruling, saying that this. They said in a opinion written by Judge Thomas M. Hardiman, the Latin cross at issue here no doubt carries religious significance, but more than 7 decades after its adoption, the seal has become a familiar embedded feature of Lehigh County, attaining a broader meaning than any one of its many symbols.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just that there's only the one symbol that's against our Constitution. So, you get 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Yeah. So, it's tricky. They basically held up the American Legion ruling and said, as the Supreme Court held in American Legion, such long-standing symbols benefit from a, quote, strong presumption of constitutionality. That ruling's gonna bite us for a while.
Yeah.
That ruling's gonna suck for a long time. Right. So there you go. Fun updates from Dan.
Oh, Dan, why?
You're
Why,
welcome.
Dan?
You're welcome, everybody.
It's the worst, Dan.
Woohoo!
It's supposed to be a fun show.
Yeah, that's why I said it's fun. Duh.
Okay. Well, here's something fun, Dan.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about, Dan. This story right here is fun.
Are you gonna make me guess something?
Do you want to guess something?
You promised.
I did promise something. Okay. Which direction, up or down,
Oh.
do you think the numbers have been going for the religiously unaffiliated people facing harassment in the world? So, number of countries where religiously unaffiliated people face harassment on a sort of on a systemic level, whether it's
You're saying us,
government,
we atheists,
agnostics, non-believers, unaffiliateds.
How many countries?
How many countries in 2017, because that's where this study sort of cuts off. How many countries do you think were people like us harassed by governments or private groups?
All of them.
Or both?
All of the countries.
It's actually not terribly high.
It's 50.
Because you have to consider that sort of more systemic.
Okay.
Right?
Well, then, yeah, I mean, I'm going to say, like, the Middle East counts and, like, pretty much everything in the Middle East, a lot of South Asia, and a lot of Asia in general. 35 countries.
They're saying 23 in 2017. This is up from 14 the previous year.
Oh, good. Up. Oh, it's an upward trend.
It's totally an upward trend.
Oh, great.
They started looking at these numbers in 2012, where they only found 3 countries where non-religious people were facing sort of this kind of harassment. The harassment, as they define it for this, can include a wide range of activities, from verbal abuse to physical violence and killings.
Great.
For example, in 4 of the 23 countries, namely Egypt, Kenya, Malaysia, and the Maldives, both government restrictions and social harassment occurred.
Yeah.
There was a killing of a secular blogger in the Maldives.
Oh, really?
In 2017. I think I remember this.
I remember secular bloggers in Burma, in Myanmar.
Oh.
But maybe we reported on the Maldives.
Maybe we didn't.
I don't listen to our show, so I don't really know.
I do tend to pay attention to things other than
our show?
Than just our show.
Why?
I do I do believe I remember hearing about this. I might be wrong. But anyway, following the killing, President Abdullah Yameen said the government would not allow anyone to publish content that mocks Islam, either on social media or in the mainstream media.
How dare they?
What's important to remember is that the religiously unaffiliated group makes up about 16% of the global population. Christians make up 31%. Muslims make up 23%.
Right.
We as a group, our brothers and sisters in non-affiliation,
right?
Make up 16%. And this is something that we need to, I think, start talking about and understanding a little bit more.
Throwing our weight around. That
this is a sizable group globally. Yeah. And yet, these 17 countries, should we play... You without naming too many specific countries, you can sort of hit that nail on the head as far as like regions, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be surprised to find out that Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, the United Arab Emirates, let's see, Bangladesh, Montenegro, Tajikistan, Tunisia, Turkey, Yemen, Egypt, Malaysia, the Maldives, and Kenya are on this list.
Okay.
Right?
There you go.
Here are a few that maybe kind of surprise you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Russia's not going to surprise you either. I don't know that I mentioned that.
No.
Greece. I don't know.
European Union member. That's interesting.
Right. Paraguay. Did I say that?
No.
Paraguay. Peaceful Paraguay.
Oh.
That just makes me so sad.
Shut up, Paraguay.
India.
Yeah, okay.
India, yeah. That kind of makes sense. And guess what?
What?
United States.
Yeah. We made
the list, Dan.
Well,
aren't we just in good company?
It is a Christian nation. It's a Judeo-Christian nation,
No,
Frank.
It's a Christian nation.
It's a Christian nation.
We're becoming more and more aware and reminded of that fact.
Yeah, but they like to throw in the Judeo just to make Israel happy. They love that part.
Every once in a while. When Israel's listening.
Yeah, exactly.
When Israel's not listening, they don't mention you. They don't, Israel. Sorry, guys.
Well, no, they do. They just talk about what they'll do when they take over your land.
Yeah. Just speaking about proportions of populations, it is also important to remember that in the U.S., we make up 23% of the population as of 2014.
Yeah.
So that number has 5
gone
years
up.
has clearly gone up a little. Who knows how much?
Yeah.
But 23% already, that's fantastic. Now, there are a lot of ways that the Christians do outdo us in the persecution game.
You mean
Christians have been harassed. In 2017, Christians were harassed in 143 countries, Dan. Isn't that just...
I don't believe that. I just genuinely think that that's probably bullshit. I don't know where they got that number, but I would like to see what they're defining as harassment.
I told you what they're defining as harassment.
Like systemic harassment against Christians in 100
Absolutely.
No.
Yes, Dan.
No.
Oh, my God.
Look, I'll give them a lot of countries. There's a lot of countries that do harass Christians.
Yeah.
China's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
China.
Oh,
But a lot of the Muslim countries as well.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
going to have a lot of trouble in a lot of those countries. But still, shut up. Nuh-uh. Anyway, okay. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it sounds suspicious to me.
how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
I'm sure they
cast
got the U.S. on that list too.
Oh, guaranteed.
Maybe that's the number
We
of
are the
countries.
worst.
Maybe that's the number of countries where Christians feel like they've been persecuted. All right, so I'm going to go to Kentucky. Remember, I mentioned Project Blitz earlier. One of the stated goals of Project Blitz, which is this ultra right wing, I don't want to say conspiracy, but plan that's been put into action, was to get "In God We Trust" put up in all of the schools.
Oh, yeah.
They skirt the obvious constitutional problem with that by having it was made the U.S. Motto in the 50s.
Yeah.
And we forgot to take
And what a
that
motto.
down.
What a motto.
We forgot to let go of that one after the Red Scare was sort of less scary. Anyway, so this has been required. So this has gone through in several states, Kentucky being one of them, where the Kentucky state law now says that beginning this school year's school, the local school boards are required in every public elementary and secondary school to display the national motto "In God We Trust" in a prominent location, somewhere where most of the kids are likely to see it.
Okay.
Not all of the school boards or school districts are happy with that.
Right.
They actually realize that there's a whole bunch of kids that will feel excluded because of that.
Yeah.
So here's a clever one. It says that it doesn't say that it can't be surrounded by other interesting artwork or symbols or whatever.
Yeah.
They hung up $1
Oh.
at all the places.
Well, doesn't that just drive home a different point?
Well, kind of, yes.
Which is...
But everybody in America at least believes in dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Not everyone in America
bring
believes in
'em on.
God, but they all believe in $1, and I think that's cute that they just hung up $1.
That's clever.
Clever. It's
Yeah.
framed. It's nice. It looks good.
And it's just a normal... Didn't they, blow it up or...
No, I think that's one of the states where they didn't require it a specific size. They weren't specific about how big it had to be or what lettering it was. So,
Well, that was dumb.
yeah.
Guess what's going to happen next year?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a size requirement.
Yep. They're going to fix that one soon. But for now,
Prescribed. There's going to be a font that you have to use.
everybody look at the dollar.
It's going to be Comic Sans.
Yeah. It shouldn't be on the money either. It's an infuriating thing.
Yeah.
We live in a very, very rough time for the non-religious in a country in a country that has enshrined in its very, very flawed founding documents. Mm-hmm. At least it says, hey, let's keep religion out of government.
Right.
And we'll get around to that eventually. As a country, we'll figure that out someday.
Someday. One can hope. One can hope.
All right. Dan. Well, if you guys have anything you'd like to add to this conversation, please write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click on that like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge. Request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in. Dan.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Gordon Klingenschmidt.
Klingon shit.
Korgon Klingers.
Calgon. Clean my shit.
Yeah, so
Gordon Klingenschmidt. We haven't heard from him for a minute. He's in Colorado, and he's a guy who looks like his neck grew a head.
Yeah, he's one of those.
He just doesn't look quite right.
Little, he's got that fun baldness that like sort of just goes in a straight line backwards.
Yeah,
right. Like it just starts in each year.
That sort of silly putty complexion.
So now he just has like this weird little thing sort of on the back of his head with two little tufts that stick out.
Yeah,
really nice.
I mean, he's what we're saying
mock
is
turtleneck,
very handsome fella.
Yeah,
looks kind of like a thumb. Anyway,
thumb with a face. He does.
He does. He looks like a thumb. He has some stuff to say. He used to be a state senator.
Did he?
There in Colorado.
That doesn't
on
surprise me because you know who runs for office in this country.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, here he's got some stuff he needs to tell us.
Let's take a moment and discern the spirits. In this story, we have a Muslim who is not a Christian. And by the way, I'm an evangelical Christian. I believe salvation is through Jesus Christ alone. There's no confusion here. But somehow, this imam showed mercy and followed the teachings of Jesus Christ and not the teachings of Muhammad when he saved the Christians. Why do I say that? Because Muhammad teaches to slay the infidels. That's a direct quote. Where Jesus teaches to lay down your life for your friends. And that's a direct quote. So when the Bible says this in John 15, greater love has no one than this, than to lay down his life for his friends, I discern the Spirit of God upon this imam because he obeyed the teachings of Jesus Christ and he disobeyed the teachings of Muhammad. And in that sense, through his actions, maybe not his confession yet, but through his actions, he was more Christian than his Muslim neighbors who are trying to kill the Christians. God bless you, Imam Abdul Ali, and Secretary Mike Pompeo and Ambassador Sam Brownback. You're doing a great job for the kingdom of Jesus Christ.
How about that?
How about that?
It was. We should have said up front. This was a reference to a thing that happened in 2018, where some Nigerian extremists, Muslim extremists, were murdering Christians, and an imam sheltered hundreds of them.
Oh,
it was a brave thing for him to do, and then he stood up to the roving horde that was trying to murder people, and said, "You'll have to kill me to get through to them." And since they were Muslim, they respected that he was an imam, and he saved these 262 Christians.
Wow.
So obviously he acted in like Jesus, because let me tell you something. That Muhammad said murder everybody, and there's nowhere in the Bible where it says murder people that we disagree with.
No, nowhere.
That doesn't exist anywhere in the good book, the holy text that Gordon Klingenschmidt loves so much.
No. He focuses on Timothy.
On John.
It was John?
It was John.
I thought it was Timothy that he read from just now. Anywho.
He said the word John. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. That guy. What a doofus. You know what I wanted to mention?
Yeah.
Because we talk a lot about how we need we ask for monetary help, but there's another help that I want to ask from our listeners.
Oh.
And that is that we have dropped to 4.5 stars from our 5-star position on iTunes.
No!
And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't
allowed.
Here's the problem. Christians come on and give us 1-star reviews,
Yeah.
having never listened to the show.
Right.
If you go through and you look at our 1-star reviews, if you click on most critical, it's very clearly just a series of Christians hating on us because we have the word atheist in our title,
Right.
who haven't actually even listened to the show.
Right.
So counteract that by you guys not thinking about it at all and going out and giving us 5 stars. Don't ask yourself any questions about, should it probably be 4? Maybe it should be 3.
That,
they're not
they
great.
Don't sound like they really read the article.
Stop thinking about it. Just give us 5 stars just to counteract the bad guys. That's all I'm saying. We had some folks write into us, and I think I should read what they wrote to us, because that's what we do on this part of the show. Hey, Frank and Dan. This is from Amber, who says, "Hey, Frank and Dan." Oh, my thing's not working. Okay, my name is Amber. I'm a fairly new listener, and I thought I would tell you my history with the Mormon Church. Ooh, the Mormons. I'm a bisexual woman. Oh, they don't like that. The Mormons aren't okay with that. From Indianapolis, and grew up in a very conservative, close suburb of Indy. I was not raised in any overtly religious environment, but went to church on my own to get a sense of community and to get away from a hostile home. I was a member of the Methodist Church that was very liberal and accepting. Around my freshman year in high school, a bunch of my friends from my church and school began to convert to Mormonism.
What?
They would go away for a weekend and come back in long sleeves with the Book of Mormon. It was so strange. I was constantly bugged about going to recruitment potlucks, and actually tricked into one my junior year. After I graduated and my girlfriend and I broke up, she also converted and denounced her bisexuality in the name of Joseph Smith or whomever, and now she lives in Utah. Just thought I'd share. Keep up the good work.
Oh.
Holy crap.
Horrible brush with Mormonism. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's terrible. What I don't understand is Mormons, they can't get converts in the U.S. to save their lives. Apparently, they're going after the young'uns.
In Indianapolis.
In Indy. The young Indians. Is that the demonym for Indianapolis?
I don't know.
People?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Indianapoliti?
In Indianapolitani.
I'm sure that's not what it is.
It should be. It should be. Anyway, thanks, Amber, for that. Someone calling themselves atheist college instructor wrote in to say, "Today I sat through an all-college meeting for our multiple campuses that included all full-time faculty, administration, and staff. We have these once a year before fall semester starts. We had a delightful presentation by a college-age girl detailing the difficulties of her life and admonishing that when life is tough, we should, quote, choose joy, Jesus, others, and yourself. She actually said, you can't forget Jesus Christ in the meeting. I felt like she was trying to launch her inspirational speaker career. I worked to get this job for many years. I love it, and I don't have tenure yet, so I don't feel comfortable reminding them about separation of church and state. We are state employees. Instead, I came home and finally became a supporter. Thanks for making me feel less alone as I live in a conservative state." I think that's a great response. I think the best response when you see Christian overstepping in this country or in whatever country you're in, donate to us. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best course of action, don't you, Frank?
I do. I think that's a wonderful step to take.
Okay, and finally, this is from Stephanie. "Hey, Frank and Dan, congratulations on 400 episodes. Wow, that's impressive." Woo. I think so too.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that we made it this far.
Impressive.
I feel impressed by us. I love the, quote, very special 400th episode. I watched it on YouTube, and it was a lot of fun. Plus, I thought you both looked cute. Keep going. I love it. The lighting was kind of shit on that recording, but that's okay.
Well,
it was not. It was
yeah. There were other moments when we were like on camera.
Yeah, that's true.
It just wasn't the intro. It was. Whoo, boy! Stark lighting and a camera phone that decided that you, Dan, were sort of that perfect peachy shade of white. And it made all of you that color.
Yeah, it just...
And then it just looked at me and was like, yeah, you're not that color.
We're just going to make you...
And it made me like kind of a dark...
I'm going to say a tangerine.
Yeah, it was not...
like a rotten tangerine.
Yeah, I'm like...
And I was just pink.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
It was so weird.
I was like, I don't know what this is, but we're not recording it.
We're not going to record it again.
Oh, my God. All right, Dan.
Yes.
You got anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, we have some people to thank on Patreon.
We do.
People who've answered the call.
Woohoo!
Right? They've gone to our website, thankgodimatheist.com, and clicked on the Patreon banner, followed it over, signed up, picked a level of support.
They're better people than I. And who are they?
And we have 3 new faithful listeners, Dan.
Okay.
We have Jody Skullbeard.
Yeah, buddy.
And I used Satan's pubes to turn Jim Baker's mom lesbian. Well done.
Get after it. That's a member of the TST right there.
Woo. Huh? TST?
The Satanic Temple.
Oh. Yeah. And then we have 5 new venerable listeners.
Well,
5,
wow.
Dan.
Great.
5.
Fantastic.
We have Heather, Vance, and Ask and Tell Project.
Okay.
And then we have 2, I think, long-term listeners. I recognize the names. Kelly and Johnny.
Oh.
So thank you guys.
Oh.
That was really, really nice of you.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Oh. Well,
thanks, everyone.
Thank you all so much for your support.
And of course,
we got one more
top
person.
Donor.
Yeah.
Our Lord and Savior, Hannah!
Oh, she's as good backwards as she is forward, and we love you so much. Listen, friends, we've said it before, and we'll say it again. If you want to earn this much gratitude from us, think of how grateful we are right now. That could be for you. You could participate in that. You go to thankgodimatheist.com. You click on the thing on the right-hand side of the screen. It takes you to the Patreon. You sign up. You choose what level you want to give. We're not doing this to try and make you feel like you have to give more than you can afford. If you can afford a lot, give a lot. Don't be stingy. But if you can't afford a lot, that's fine. Just be a patron. We really appreciate it, and we will love you more.
Thanks, guys. Dan!
Oh, buddy.
We grew up with a lot of restrictions in our life.
It was basically a life based on restrictions.
Mormonism says no a lot.
They're good at it.
A lot.
They're good at no.
Yes doesn't come up too often.
Oh, well, I mean, like...
Yes, you can be boring.
Yes,
you can wear a white shirt to church.
They have so much fun with their little activities, all their youth activities.
Yes, you can do a scavenger hunt.
We're going to have a water fight out in front of the ward.
Yes, you can.
Oh, yes. Wait, are you kissing? No! Don't you dare.
Get your hands off her shoulder!
Yeah. What? Why is her shoulder showing?
No!
Yeah, a lot of restrictions. Many of those revolve around what goes in your face hole. A lot of them are about what comes out of your face hole, but a lot of them are about what goes in. And let me tell you something. It's a modern world.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of new shit.
Yeah.
And they got to weigh in. Does the new shit, is it okay?
We are talking about the word of wisdom here.
Yeah. This is the word of wisdom is the Mormon laws on what you can and can't eat. It didn't used to be a law. It started out just as what the name suggests. It was just considered a little bit. It was wise.
It was so wise.
It was a wise way to eat.
It was just here you go. Here's a word of wisdom for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me just share a little word.
A little word of wisdom. You might want to stay away from like a lot of red meat.
Yeah, don't eat too much red meat.
Don't eat too much
in
red
moderation.
meat.
Keep
Just
it in moderation.
especially in the cold season.
No
Totally
hard
cool.
drink.
No hard drink. Hot drink.
Or hot drinks. This was because in that time, in the mid 1800s, there was a thing happening in nutrition. This was the era of John Kellogg and Sylvester Graham.
What was Sylvester Graham about? Crackers?
He invented the graham cracker.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
And was it a way so that people would stop masturbating?
I guarantee you it got back to masturbation. Look,
wasn't there something with Kellogg?
Oh my God.
Masturbation?
He was obsessed with preventing masturbation to the point. He was obsessed with all sexuality. He hated it. He was proud that he was a married virgin. I am not shitting you on that. Look it up, people. At me if you need to. He ran a sanitarium, right? He ran a place where people would convalesce if they weren't feeling well, if they had their nerves or whatever the thing, and people would go there, and he had these crazy ideas about nutrition.
Yeah,
and he did high colonic enemas regularly to everybody, because even though he was one of the first people to sign on to the germ theory, like at that point germ theory wasn't really that popular as an explanation for ailments. He signed on to that. But everything that couldn't be explained by that was about your bowels. And masturbation. And he would do things. He was crazy. He would sew up foreskins so that you couldn't get an erection. Oh God. It was like obsession and craziness. And he's the reason we're all fucking circumcised in this country, because he was convinced that circumcision would prevent onanism, which is masturbation. He was convinced that it was what was needed.
Right, but he also invented Cheerios, which I eat every morning.
Well, there you go.
That was General Mills.
Yeah.
Kellogg's was like...
Cornflakes was his big invention. Cornflakes was his big invention. Oh my God, I'm going off on this huge side note, but I love it so much because one of the guys who stayed in his sanitarium, who like needed help and got help and felt like he had been thoroughly helped by John Kellogg's like nutrition thing and whatever. By the way, Kellogg's first big cereal invention, breakfast invention, was he got a bunch of grains together and then they sort of clumped all together and he'd break them up and he called them they were granules of like grain clumps, so he called it granula. But somebody else had already come up with something that they called granula, so he called it granola. That's where that comes from.
No. I thought you were going to say he invented grape nuts, and I was like, he was evil.
No. Grape nuts was invented by the other guy that I'm talking about, who stayed in at the Kellogg place, then went off, invented his own thing. This was a guy named Post, and Post invented grape nuts as his.
How are these people so obsessed with cereal?
It was the Great Revolution. Anyway, all of this to say,
they ruined breakfast.
Oh,
ruined it.
I love a good breakfast cereal.
Yeah, but when I tell you this tidbit about breakfast, you're going to be so upset.
Okay.
The diet for breakfast up until this point.
Right.
There was sometimes this, there was sometimes that, whatever. Always bacon.
Yeah, that's
true. Bacon was always there.
That's true.
Because you needed like this good, like fatty, hearty thing to start the day off with.
Yeah,
and then you would just be compelled to go masturbate.
Right. Yes,
right?
It's
or
true.
At least this Kellogg idiot. I bet he masturbated so much.
Oh, he did.
He was sneaking off all the time.
That's where guys like this always go. It's the shame cycle.
Yeah.
They spiral themselves into oblivion.
And he
anyway,
poor guy. I feel bad for him.
Kellogg, Post, Graham, all these guys obsessed with all of these different rules about what you should or shouldn't eat, based entirely on jack shit.
Yeah. Okay, so
Joseph Smith came along with his thing, which he basically lifted from Sylvester Graham.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Which was, no hard drink, which fucking doesn't include beer at the time.
Right.
Or wine, but nobody
Right.
even...
They were talking about liquor.
Right. Hard liquor.
Right.
But now, so now Mormons are... It eventually got canonized into law,
Right.
into Mormon law. It wasn't for the first... Until the early 20th century.
Yeah, it was like the 1920s, right?
Yeah, something
when it,
like that.
Really kicked in.
It was all
hardcore, maybe late teens.
Yeah, 50 years it was just a suggestion, and then it became law because
50, like 60 or 70 years.
60, 70 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, because it was first written down in 1833.
Yeah,
So
it's like
there you go.
80, 90.
Yeah. Here you go. Now they got to opine on some new shit. So they wrote, and what's great is that this all came out in their magazine for the youth, for the young folk, not the one for the children. That would be
Friend.
weird. The Friend. That's their magazine for the children. The Children's Friend. But no, this is the New Era, the New Era magazine, which is which I my parents faithfully bought me a subscription of, and I never read probably a single word.
You didn't read the New Era?
No.
Oh, come on, Dan.
It's boring as shit.
You were such a bad Mormon kid.
I was a bad Mormon kid.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, but what we're saying is it's old because it's been around since our youth.
Before then. Yeah, I was always disappointed. Like, everybody else got highlights, and I got the Friend.
You can't even do the match, the picture match.
I was so mad.
Here's how the first presidency of the church has weighed in the New Era magazine.
Ura?
Electronic vaporizers and e-cigarettes
Oh, the e-cigarettes.
are devices. It explains what they are. I love it. Are devices people use to inhale mist, usually with various flavors, says the magazine. One study showed that nearly 2/3 of teen e-cigarette users thought that the pods that they were vaping... Oh, they use the word vaping.
Ooh, they are
They're
down with the lingo.
You'll find that they get more lingo-y in a minute. They thought that the pods that they were vaping contained only flavoring. That's way, way far from the truth.
Way. Wow.
Oh, they're talking to the kids, you see.
Yeah, they know how the kids talk.
They say most vaping pods contain nicotine, which is highly addictive.
Yeah.
And all of them contain harmful chemicals. It's clearly against the word of wisdom, Frank.
Yeah. I predict something, Dan.
Yes?
I bet our state legislature all of a sudden starts caring about vaping.
Yeah, maybe. Could be.
I bet they do. Real soon. Whether this year or next.
Yeah.
They're going to get on that one. But yeah, I think it's just kind of funny that they felt the need to sort of clarify all of this. I mean, it seemed obvious to me.
Yeah.
I'm not even at church every Sunday listening to their nonsense,
Yeah, here's the thing.
Don't they talk about iced tea and shit?
When they talk about iced tea, that's still tea. Still counts. It's still tea. They also talk about green tea counting.
Oh.
It's not just black tea. They're the same. They both come from tea. It's all tea.
I bet they actually had somebody. They were like, "What is this green tea?
What? It's green.
Brother Jones, come over here.
Here's what's confusing.
Do you know what green tea is?" And he's, "Oh, it's a kind of tea. I don't really." And he's like, "Brother Jones, will you go research this? Look it up. Find out for us and come back. And tell us what green tea, because I don't know. We're okay with the herbal."
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what tricked them.
Yeah,
is that they were like, well, we kind of create some gray area for herbal tea. Is green tea herbal tea?
Yeah,
is that the same?
Yeah,
is it different?
It sounds like it might be.
You know where else they get confused? Apparently,
what?
Well, there's all these drinks now that don't use the word coffee, but have coffee in them.
Oh. Like what?
They're trying to trick you.
Like, what kind of coffee drinks?
Here, I will quote from the magazine.
Uh-oh.
If you're in a coffee shop or any other shop that's well known for its coffee, the drink you're ordering probably has coffee in it. So either never buy drinks at coffee shops or always ask if there's coffee in it.
That doesn't say that.
Drinks?
You just made that up.
No, I am. This is quoting, my friend. Drinks with names that include cafe or cafe with 2 F's, mocha, latte, espresso, or anything ending in chino usually have coffee in them and are against the word of wisdom.
So that would be your frappuccino,
Your kappa, your frappa,
your Napa.
Ooh, a nappuccino. That's
Nappuccino.
wine.
Yeah.
That's wine,
Wine with a little frothy on it.
with
so good.
with a cappuccino float.
Yeah. Oh, that's my favorite.
Let me tell you something. There's a great quote from this magazine article that says members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are known for their healthy lifestyles.
Oh, come to Utah and witness.
You are just bald-faced lying. Just because you don't drink coffee or alcohol does not mean you are healthy.
First of all, we need to talk about the phenomenon of these places that they're drive-through soda places.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know if these exist elsewhere. I suspect I haven't seen them.
Yeah, write into us if you have these.
They're
outside of Utah.
Horrifying, and they're definitely like a homegrown phenomenon.
Yes.
They're
called things like Soda-licious. Get it? So delicious.
Well, there's one of the big chains is called Sips.
Yeah, Slurp.
Slurp. Anyway, but they're these drive-through. Instead of it being a drive-through coffee shack
or whatever,
it's a drive-through soda shack,
and they call it dirty soda.
You get dirty sodas and big old cookies and stuff.
Yeah,
and it is a diabetes
nightmare
nexus point.
Yeah,
right? Like, it's just
they literally.
This is where diabetes starts.
You should get because we're not talking about like 12 ounces of soda.
No.
The smallest they have is going to be 32 ounces.
Right. So they're big,
or 64. You can get the big
right, but you're not just going there to get a Coca-Cola. You're going there to get a Coca-Cola with a squirt of this syrup and a squirt of that.
A point of order. You mean a Diet Coke?
Well,
because they all think that
they start with Diet Coke.
Oh, they're all on the Diet Cokes.
Well, nonetheless,
I need a dirty diet. Blah blah blah. So anyway, go on. You take your Diet Coke.
Right.
You don't fill it to the rim.
No. And then you just fucking squirt like lime syrup in, and
it's just syrup after syrup after syrup.
Just all these different flavors, like the Torani syrups.
Nothing that ends
in
chino.
Fucking nuts with no chinos.
But yeah, it's like coconut, lime, caramel, blah blah. It's just like it's adding horrifying. Sugar.
It's absolutely horrifying
to those drinks.
Yeah. And then you get a big giant cookie too.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you go, yum, 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 enjoy your afternoon.
And so you go, what?
Yum, 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 yum.
Okay.
And then slip into some kind of diabetic coma.
Right. And then you feel smug because you didn't have a beer.
Or something that ends in chino.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So that's Mormons for you. They're so healthy. They're just so healthy. So good for them. They figured out not vaping, which I agree with. I think
let's back up here.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of making fun of them for this stance. This stuff ain't good for you.
Well, the real problem is we don't know anything about vaping. I think those flavors might be horrific for your lungs.
Who knows?
A whole bunch of the flavors have already been people been showing up with the popcorn lung.
Right.
Don't vape.
Popcorn lung. I don't even know what that is.
It's like a really bad condition. Your lungs go all popcorny. It's not good.
Okay.
It's not good.
Yeah, okay. So just let somebody else be the guinea pig.
Yeah, exactly.
For this kind of
just
shit.
Hold off. Smoke a cigarette.
But
You'll be
nonetheless,
fine.
but nicotine ain't great for you.
No.
You know. But all right.
Anyway, there you go. Hey, if you guys would like to chime in, tell us about how healthy your former religion was. Write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, hey, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and smash that like button until it hurts.
And while you're there on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in. Follow us on Twitter @TGIA Atheist.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget to that we need to thank Mackenzie for her amazing work on the Facebook page. Thanks to Danny and Amy for their work as moderators in the Members Only Lounge.
And a big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club and to Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
Yeah, and also, hey, you guys listening, everyone who can hear me right now, thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
You hear how sincere we are?
Bye.
Bye.